I don't want to spend the holidays dead.
Honey.
Dad, didn't they invent Christmas tree lots so people wouldn't have to drive all the way out to nowhere and waste a whole Saturday?
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark. Shitter was full!
Ah, yeah. Go berserk. I'll simply solve the problem.
Grace! Grace! She passed away 30 years ago.
We all love you. But this is a terrible night. Nothing's gone right. It's a disaster.
And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. Don't drop that!
Well, I don't know what to say, except it's Christmas and we're all in misery.
This isn't the biggest bag over the head punch in the face I ever got. God damn it! Son. Right here. With a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Welcome to Horror and Heels. This is Alicia.
And I'm Jen.
And today is Christmas Day in the U.S.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus. A Festivus for the rest of us. Jen's drinking eggnog. It's really throwing me. She's like just gulping eggnog. She's really getting festive. She's getting festive. I am drinking water because I have a terrible headache.
Ooh.
It's because our air pressure has changed horribly in the past couple of days. I always get like headaches when the pressure drops.
Heard.
So today we decide to take a little detour from traditional horror and talk more situational horror, if you will. And we are doing Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation. And you've heard me say it before, and I will say it again. Mama Griswold is a final girl, if ever there is one. She has strength. She carries this family through. And the fact that she did not go on a murdering spree is truly a testament of will to the wonder that is that woman. Because I gotta say, but then, so I used to be like, if I was married to Clark, I'd kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But his heart is just so big. Especially when he sees, I'm sorry, I'm not going in any kind of order today, people, so just get used to it. When he sees little Ruby Sue, so sad because she doesn't think Santa loves them. So he buys them Christmas gifts. I mean, come on, guys. If your heart doesn't melt at that, it's made of stone.
I'll say yes. On one hand, yes, he is generous. However, there's always this little bit of like self-righteousness to his.
Oh, I'm not saying there's not.
That's why I would kill him, because it's not like this. It's like this cheesy, like, I don't know. He annoys the out of me. So I still stand. I still maintain I would kill him.
In that moment when Ruby Sue is looking so happy, you see why Ellen fell for a man who would, even if it is a little self-righteous, do that, because those aren't his cousin's kids. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they are because they're married, but they're not. I mean, people are bringing dogs into her house. People
Oh
are
my
bringing
God.
cats in boxes into her house.
The beginning kind of is like a horror movie, though, when they're on the road and the
Well,
truck.
yeah. Listen,
I was like, this is kind of starting out like a horror movie because they are definitely having some joyride vibes here. Candy cane.
if you see that the people have stripper like mud flaps,
On the
they
truck.
don't respect people.
Nope.
Don't get into a situation with them. Just don't do it.
Just let them go. Let them go. You don't have to win them all.
And not that I'm saying there's anything.
Especially not with your family in the car.
Right. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with stripping. If that's what makes you happy. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with enjoying a nice strip club. What I'm saying is if you're letting the world know by plastering that to the back of your truck, you're not worried about
Much of anything.
much of anything, really. You're not worried about offending anybody,
Right.
is my point.
And those aren't people you want
Little
to tangle
old
with.
ladies are gonna see that and start clutching their pearls. So, and you're not worried. You're not worried. It's
Okay.
fine.
And that's fine. You're just not somebody I want to tangle with.
Right. So they hit that tree lot sign going 1,000 miles an hour. No damage to the car.
Yeah, because it's still running.
It's fine. There wasn't even a dent.
Nope.
Little known fact, that model of car was never made with wood paneling. Saw
really?
that in like the Goofs
Nice.
page. So just so you all know.
They just put them on there to make it look like more of a family vehicle.
Speaking of eggnog, Jen, how much eggnog do you think Ellen consumed before taking this car trip with her?
Oh, God. I would have had to have at least a couple gallons.
All the nog. All the nog.
All the nog.
If Ed said to me, oh, sweetie, we're going to go cut down our own Christmas tree, but we're not even going to go to a nice furbished lot that specializes in this,
And
that's
get you a
going to give
saw.
you a nice saw, wrap it for you. No. If he said, I'm going to make you hike through snow out into the woods to cut this shit down, I would have been like, peace. I'm not
fun with that.
involving. I'm not involving.
And my kids
No.
don't have to go if they don't want to. They're welcome to go if they want to, but
You
they don't
want-
have to go.
No one's going with you. Enjoy. And also, I love the term liver lips, and that's my new phrase. I'm calling everybody. I don't like that.
Nice.
Eat my
So-
duck liver lips.
If nothing else, this show has given us a plethora of names to use now. We've got gold-plated horror from Black Christmas. We've got
Yeah.
liver lips now. Yeah.
Also, if your husband drove like that, would you ever let him drive again? Because I looked at Ed when we were watching this and go, I would have taken your keys away.
Right, especially
You
get in the middle of a truck.
Trailer, I'm done.
We got
Done
stuck under a truck, and then you're freaking out, and you're not even like staying cool, like to make sure that the kids aren't scared. Like you're freaking out. No,
Yeah.
no,
No.
you're done.
Now huge plot hole that I had always ignored, but my husband couldn't. How did they even rip it out of the ground?
Right, I was wondering that. I was like, how do you even get? They don't have a shovel. Like, did they just use their hands? And then,
Yeah.
what
Because-
crane did they use to put it on there?
Yeah, that's a huge plot hole that I think we all just happily ignore. And I was happy to ignore it till the day I died until my husband pointed it out. So,
It's a visual gag, you know.
Yeah.
Like one of those things where like, it's funnier if we make it seem like they just ripped it out of the ground.
now,
Oh, by the way, sorry, real quick. The truck that with the hillbillies that they were messing with, that
Mhm.
truck was used in Overboard and in They Live.
okay.
Yes, I thought that was a fun fact. It was the same because I love Overboard, so
Yes.
great movie. It was Kurt Russell's truck.
Yes. I assumed.
Just throwing it out there.
They remade that, and I
Yeah,
was like,
They
Wow.
actually they did, And I saw it, and I did not hate it. I will be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I went into it with low expectations, and I was like, oh, okay.
I just love, and why am I blanking on her name? Kurt Russell.
Goldie Hawn.
I just love Goldie Hawn so much that no, I'm not watching it.
Oh, me too. I love her too. Yeah. The Overboard is perfect, but the remake, like I said, actually not terrible. Because they do the gender flip, which actually makes it somewhat interesting. I mean, if you're gonna remake it, then do the gender flip. Kind of makes it a little interesting. In this case, not in every case of a remake, but yes.
Oh, okay. So now we meet the neighbors for the first time, and yes, they're a little snooty.
A little.
But they haven't done anything that we can see so far super egregious to the point that Clark should be making inappropriate sexual jokes to another man's husband. Because I looked at Ed and Ed goes, no, I would have fucking decked him. So inappropriate on every level.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that comment. I was like, whoa, no, sir.
No, if it had been, and I gotta tell you, you know, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, look at these snooty neighbors that don't want them to have their fun. Now that I'm an adult homeowner, no, fuck you, Clark. Stop fucking up my home. He does actual damage to their home.
Yeah, I know.
And doesn't care.
I'm like,
it's egregious, honestly.
Yeah, it is. I don't like that either. Like, I'm like, and then how are they even? Their insurance company is probably like, okay, we can't cover you anymore because although Clark's insurance should be paying for it. Right. Yeah. Yeah. As you have experienced this type of.
Yeah, I don't know what ice through the way. No, I think at that point that would be on Clark's insurance because he literally acted in a dangerous, unsafe manner, forcing that outcome. The ice wouldn't have just gone through the window if he wasn't hanging from, you know what I mean?
And then he does the whole Jason thing. I was like, wow, this has more horror in it than I remember.
More than you remember, exactly. And does anybody just feel bad for Russ?
Rusty? I love Rusty.
You can see Ellen's meds have worn off. She's done. She's just like, does everyone have to come? Why are they all coming? She's like, she's got a look on her face like, I didn't refill the prescription for this.
I don't have enough.
As far as having family over, I am Sparky in this situation. Love the idea of a big family get together. Like last year was the first Thanksgiving in our home, pre-COVID. And I invited the entire family. Now, granted, there were people that I knew off the bat were just not going to be able to come. We have family all the way out in California. But to give you an idea, I invited 40 people. Wow. Now, once again, like I said, I knew not everyone could come, and actually a lot less could come than I had even anticipated, which was probably for the best because a lot of work hosting things. Right? So, but
and did they stay overnight, or was it like just a one-day thing, or was it like overnight?
Some, if they had come, probably would have stayed over. We would have made it work. No worries. Yeah. But yeah, we're like that in our family. Like we all get together a lot. We have a huge family reunion every summer. Like we really enjoy being around each other. So I am very Sparky in that moment. I have to say, the sap gets me every time.
I hate sap so much. That scene just, the idea.
Every year when we get a tree, I make that joke like the basic bitch I am. I'm like, a lot of sap.
A lot of sap. And he's just and he's shaking his hands, and she's like sitting there patiently letting him mess with it.
Ellen just goes to sleep on him. She's like, got this.
Well, no, because she's listing. He's like, when have I ever put too much pressure on the family? And then she starts listing everything.
Everything.
She's like parties, weddings,
anniversaries, graduations, vacations. The next day when they're at the office, that office building is every stereotypical office building
Oh yeah,
in New York or Chicago. This does take place in Chicago, but like, as do all of John Hughes
movies. Yeah.
Mr. Shirley is a stereotype. And did you want that Tasmanian Devil mug as a kid, or was it just me?
I don't. Dang it! I meant to look for it, and I totally forgot to look for it because I read about it.
A mug that is literally, it's not just a mug with like a picture of the Tasmanian. It's literally the shape of the Tasmanian Devil. I always wanted that as a kid, so.
That's awesome. They never had it anywhere, huh?
You know what the thing is that I don't drink anything that you would drink in a mug.
You can drink anything you want in a mug, ma'am.
Right, but I'm saying as like a kid, like what was I going to ask for a Tasmanian Devil mug for? And the desire has worn off over the years. Is what I'm saying.
I used to drink soda out of mugs. I don't care if it holds drink. I'll drink out of it.
By the way, Jen's saying this vehemently because she has the largest mug of. She's drinking the eggnog in a mug, which is why she feels the need to be so defensive about it.
I'm just saying, if it's a fun mug, you drink it. You get the mug.
I eat my ice cream and soups out of my mugs.
Ooh, yeah, I like soup, and I used to eat cereals out of mugs too.
Yeah, it's easier. No sloshing. Mr. Shirley is a stereotype.
Oh yeah.
When I saw him.
And it's Bill Murray's brother.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Brian Doyle Murray.
So now we get to the mall scene. So I asked my husband, I looked at my husband. I'm not saying this woman is not attractive. But you are a grown man with two children. You would not get this tongue-tied over an attractive woman.
This is another reason why I can't stand him. Like, he's just so annoying. And, like, he's acting like she's, like, the hottest. Like you said, she's attractive. But good Lord.
Good Lord. Get control of yourself.
Together.
Trust me when I tell you not a single person on the planet thinks you have a log. Nobody was thinking about your log. Nobody wants to be thinking about your log, sir.
Nope.
And you've lost your son in a mall. You didn't even notice Russ was gone. You didn't notice when he came back. I guess in the 1980s, I guess Russ is 13, 14, so I guess it's okay. It's okay. But still, I don't know if during Christmas time, just with how crazy malls are, that I would do that simply because, like, when I'm ready to go, I don't want to have to find your punk ass.
Yeah.
Like, especially in 1980. Especially in the 1980s, there was no cell phone to call to say, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Meet me here right now. Like, no, you were just meeting at whatever your agreed upon time was.
I don't even know how we functioned back then.
It's a mystery.
Seems like a lot of work now that I think about it. Like when your parents would drop you off at the mall. Like, my parents would drop me off, us and our friends off at the mall, and we'd have to be like, be here at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we'd have to make sure we were there at 6 o'clock because there was no.
And you'd get in so much trouble if you were not there.
Because they have to wait and, like, God.
And they not like waiting.
No. But yeah, he's a bumbling idiot, and and it keeps, like, saying the wrong words. I'm like, oh, Clark, why is this even enough? And at least she's not acting like it's cute or like she's attractive. She's not even trying to, like, flirt with him to get business. She's like, you're stupid, stop talking.
She's like, nobody knows what you're saying. So now we're back at the house, and the look of dread when the doorbell rings. And 4 rings to get somebody to answer. That's madness.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I read that it's every ring is deeper, is lower than the first one, which is impending doom or something like that.
Right,
They did that on purpose. Yeah.
So I looked it up just because I was really wondering. A quarter is only 53 cents in today's world when she offers a quarter to rub the burr. Now I have to tell you that I am a licensed nail technician. I do pedicures. I actually find great satisfaction in doing pedicures. I love when people tell me how much better their feet feel, etc. That being said, I charge way more than 53 cents for that service. That's all I'm going to say about it. And I gotta be honest, as a teenager, if I was a girl doing like my aunt, I don't know that would bother me. But like, just once again, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna keep saying it. Poor Russ.
Yeah.
Like, Audrey doesn't have it great, but Russ has it worse. Okay?
I mean, he's basically got to be the man of the family at this point with Clark.
Right.
With Clark as his father.
So now we're outside. Him and Russ go outside to do the lights to inevitably hide from what's happening inside. And Ed looks at me and just goes, that light bulb would never happen. Like, that just, they might be tangled, but a ball like that?
Oh, yeah, you would have to do that intentionally.
He did say that because I was like, would you have used a staple gun? Like, and he's like, yeah, but you can't be doing it the way he's doing it. You have to be very careful.
You have to do it on the side.
He's like, you got to be like way more careful than he's being. And he goes, you probably wouldn't do it on your roof. He's like, you probably don't want to be sticking holes all into your shingling. I'm like, that makes sense.
That's true.
So I looked up the prices of Clark Griswold's lighting. Now, they didn't have the costs of what it would take to run the lights back then. But to run that many lights, non-LED, just regular lights, for 5 hours a day for 31 days would be $3,699.85 in 2019, according to General Electric.
Oh my God.
If you had that many lights in LED version, which is what almost everybody has nowadays because they run so much cooler, they're just a ton safer. If you haven't upgraded to the LED, for the peace of mind on the safety on your indoor tree alone, do it. They're so much cooler to the touch. Like, I never worry.
Yeah.
Remember, that used to be a fear, like that the heat from the lights would dry out the tree. You don't have that fear with LEDs anymore. It would cost $68.71.
That's a huge difference. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a $3,600 difference. Yeah. So that's just, it's too many lights, Clarky boy. Okay, were you trying to be on the Great American Light fight? It wasn't even a thing back then.
It wasn't a thing back then. He was trying to start it.
He was trying to start it. Then Audrey makes a masturbation joke, and Grandma is a hypocrite asking Ellen if she's smoking again when she's literally been popping cigarettes all throughout the house all day. I gotta say, once again, if I were the neighbors, Margot and Todd, I'd be livid.
They have a right to be livid.
I gotta say, honestly, took Margot a long time to lose her cool on these people. I give her credit. Like, we'll get to that, but because I gotta tell you, you ruined my window, my carpet, and my expensive stereo equipment. We're having a conversation then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then her Todd or whatever doesn't even want to go over there.
Oh, well, I'm just going to say this, and Todd, you are a horrible excuse for a human in love with another human. And I got to say this, if the shoe was on the other foot and some man had said that joke to my husband in front of me, I would have been defending Ed. Not that Ed needs defending, simply my love for Ed would have trumped, and I would not have been able to stop myself from, at a minimum, verbally defending him.
Yeah.
Todd does none of that. You are not a protector of the people you love. And this is not a gender thing. This is You love somebody, regardless, you protect them. You're not protecting the people you love. You need to step it up, Todd. You're worthless, and
together.
you got a stupid-looking ponytail.
Oh, that 80s
I just
ponytail.
wanted to cut it off so
the
badly.
80s. That was a mark of an asshole in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
That slicked back and then the tiny ponytail. That's how you knew they were a bad guy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Just so many years of Clark's hijinks, she's just numb from it all at this point.
Yeah,
she walks outside to call him in for dinner, sees he's in a bush, and is just like, fuck it.
Yeah, doesn't go to help him. She's like, well, dinner's ready. Come in whenever you're done with your nonsense.
Now then, they go to light these lights, and Ed agreed with me that he would have checked that the lights worked before dragging everybody out.
That's what I was thinking.
I know it makes a funny scene, but, like...
But then it's also knowing Clark Griswold, you can see how he would want to do it in front of everyone first and not check it. So it's like, it's kind of on brand with who he is.
It is on brand, but my husband was once again... To be fair, my husband's like, yeah, I don't understand Clark at all.
Nobody understands Clark Griswold. Nobody.
I gotta say, this was a great moment because of Audrey.
Oh, she was so cute.
Yeah. She's like, he worked really
hard, Grandma. That was so, I was like,
shut your mouth, bitch. And then she's like, Dad, they're pretty even if they're not lit. Like, she was prime supportive daughter in this moment. And not for no other reason for this scene. That was really nice to see. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too. I wrote it down too. I was like, oh, she stands up for her dad. And like, I do like that about the Griswold kids. They're not bratty.
No, not at all.
They could easily have been made. They could have easily been made to have Audrey and Rusty dislike each other and fighting. They don't do that. So that's the one thing I do like about these movies is that.
I mean, she is a little annoyed to be sharing a bed with him, and she should because.
Right. Well.
But now we see in the next scene everybody in the house sleeping. One of the sets of grandparents are in the bunk beds. Why didn't Audrey and Russ go in the bunk beds and the grandparents go in Russ's bed?
Because it's funnier this way. I don't know.
Or Grandma just is sick of sharing a bed with Grandpa. She was like, no. She called the bunk beds.
Yeah. And then it's skipping ahead to the scene where Clark
they mentioned
through.
that in the goofs.
And like, how far away from?
So that's a goof. So you see in the first shot that it's a good 4 feet.
Yeah.
And then they move it for that scene. Yeah, that's mentioned in goofs on IMDb.
Yeah. And I would have figured out a way to crawl through that hole. Like.
Well, and the other goof in the movie, if you see the stair comes down onto him, but then when you look at it up, like when it's folded, it's a fold.
Yeah.
For those types of stairs, you can only have it one of two ways. It either folds or it slides. It's never a combo, so that it couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Also, Grandma, don't you think if the stairs are down,
somebody's up there?
You wouldn't check first? You wouldn't check, you greedy bitch. I love this actress.
Bad.
I love this actress, but I hate every character she plays.
Yeah, she's the one from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, she's just a little much.
Mm-hmm. But she does it well.
Yes, oh, definitely. Now then, he goes and he gets his items to keep himself warm. I just want to know, whose fur is this?
Stuff is this?
Whose? Is this like his mother's old? I'm just very confused.
Yeah. If it's a vintage fur, it should be in a nice storage or something,
Well, that's what I wanted to say too. The fact that it's up there, it might have been a cedar chest, but if it wasn't, you would have had moth holes in that by now.
Yeah. Oh,
so that was a little weird to me too. And then, why would you sit on the stairs?
Right. Oh, and they're both dead after that, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way she pulled 6 foot
Right.
whatever Chevy Chase down onto herself.
Right, without any injury? No injury?
Yeah. No, she'd be in the hospital or something.
Yeah,
He'd be
something.
hurt.
Yeah, something. No worries. Now, if you're plugging in everything, you're not checking all your outlets?
Yeah, how do they not know that
Also, how is this house not blowing up? But that's besides the point.
they only had like 1 or 2 shorts? It should have been way more than that. All the plugs they had in that one out.
Yeah. Every year I just go fire hazard.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have to say this. Either the neighbors are stupid, or this is their first Christmas in town. Because there's no way Clarky Clark hasn't done this with the lights.
Before. I mean, they had them all.
He had them. We see this. So, that being said, come the holiday time, if I were those neighbors, I would probably invest in some blackout curtains.
Yep.
I want them anyway because they help with insulation and stuff. So we're getting them anyway. And I like the fabric they're made out of. But that's neither here nor there. But also, you see those lights turn on, you can't see. You're sitting in a bed already. I know this is played for laughs, I get it, blah, 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 but why are you trying to walk?
That whole scene irritates the hell out of me. I'm like, they're so incompetent. They're so incompetent. And they're just, let me wander, let me not walk slowly and carefully. Let me bumble around and touch everything.
The point is, they were in the bed when those lights went on. In the bed. So, that being said, just sit your ass down.
Yeah, stay in bed. Why do you need to get up?
Let your eyes adjust to the light. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to do anything. Your plan was already to be in this bed.
Why do you need to get up now?
There's no need.
Yeah.
So.
And then he gets up with the trays, or picks everything up, and then goes and then falls down the stairs.
Why? Why?
I'm able to like appreciate comedy when it's funny, but those kind of things just I've always been like that, where it's like, you're kind of pushing it with that. Yeah.
It was unnecessary. Like it would have been so much better if they hadn't had them. They just hadn't started the scene
with them
in a non-movement position. You're already in a. I understand they were making out, but you're already in a bed. The way you start that scene and actually have it be funny is have Todd walking up the stairs to bring the tray to Margot, who's upstairs. You see Margot get concerned for Todd. She obviously not thinking, just in the moment, jumps out of bed to help him, and they both fall and knock things over.
Yeah.
That's how you do that scene and make it semi-believable.
Right.
Instead of, just look at these stupid
people. We're just in the bed, and then we're going to jump up for no reason.
Right.
Because we can't see. Since I can't see, I'm going to immediately get up.
Yeah, exactly. I love Grandma Frances's face. She thinks it's the tackiest thing she's ever seen. She thinks the lights are horrific. And she doesn't even try to hide it, which is just fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now the best thing. Cousin Eddie comes to town.
Oh, God. One thing I had never noticed before is when he hugs his mom, and Beverly D'Angelo and Ellen is just like in between him and his mom, and she's like, I had never seen that before, but she's like trying to like breathe, and he's all like got her between his mom, and you get that feeling of like, man, he's really a mama's boy in this instance. Like, he's very much about his mom, which is so fun. When she's only 8 years older than him, by the way, the actress is only 8 years older than Chevy Chase. Which I thought was interesting. But yes, but then Eddie comes.
Now, first of all, got some questions. I understand the lights were majestically beautiful, but they weren't emanating any sound. How did you not hear that Russ fucking pulling in?
That is true. Yeah. I feel like that would make a lot of noise rolling in. I feel like we would have heard that from down the block.
Right. You would have been like, oh, is garbage pickup late this evening? Should I get my recyclables out? Like, so he doesn't even notice Eddie's there until he's hugging Cousin Eddie because the majesty of the lights has overcome him.
Oh, yes.
And
his tears.
So they go around and they're talking to the children, and we get to Ruby Sue. How is this child still alive? And why has CPS not been called? She's falling down wells. She's getting kicked by mules.
By mules. I need to know how this child got kicked by a mule. Like, where? What happened?
I just need the prequel. I just see Ruby Sue's life. Like, really.
And even just call it Ruby Sue and just the misadventures of Ruby Sue.
Yeah. And so that actress is, so I always wondered this, and then I looked it up. She is wearing a wig.
It's a horrible wig. That hair is atrocious.
Apparently the actress had a real, well, the reason that I had to look it up is I had to make sure that they weren't filming like after she had like some surgery or cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like that. She just had a haircut that the creators didn't love, and so they decided to throw that horrible wig on her, and now I feel fine making fun of it.
Oh, yeah.
Creative choice. No, I do try to be sympathetic. No, like one time in school we were talking about a movie, and somebody said something about the wig, and they're like, the actress was going through cancer treatments at the time. I don't remember the movie, and I was like, glad I'm not the one who said it. Glad I'm not the one who said it. So now I look those things up before putting my foot in my mouth. But yeah, once again, how is she still alive?
Oh, and the little boy, his name, I read a random thing. Her brother's name is Rocky. When he comes out of the RV, he has a Las Vegas shirt on. And then the next vacation movie is Vegas.
Well, yeah, that's where they're from.
Yeah.
They are Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, so then they show a clip of this movie in the movie Rocky. So it's like a bunch of little tie-in things. So his name is Rocky. He's wearing a Vegas shirt. They show the movie in Rocky, and they're from Vegas. So I thought that was a funny little...
Ella needs more drugs, guys, okay? She's going to need more drugs for this. Thankfully, Cousin Eddie doesn't want to stay in the house, so...
Yeah. Oh, I was like, oh, thank God. I felt so much relief when they were like, yeah, we're just going to stay in the RV. I was like, oh, thank God. And even his kids aren't like Ruby Sue and Rocky aren't little brats, because that's the funny thing about this movie is that like none of the kids, you don't hate the kids, because a lot of these type of movies
you hate the kids.
Like Home Alone, most of those children I cannot stand.
Even Krampus, I was like, oh, he got, that's okay. Like, we don't really need him back.
Yeah, oh, that's good. No, but these kids were likable. They weren't brats. They weren't horrible children. They weren't disrespectful.
Very respectful.
Yeah.
They were the only ones being respectful.
Out of all of these people.
Of everyone, okay? Now also, how is this dog alive? Drank a quart of Pennzoil? I got questions that I need.
They're by all these power lines. They probably are mutants at this point, living in Vegas. What did he say? He traded his house for the RV.
Yes. The honey of a deal. By the way, I've decided that my new holiday look from here on out is a white shirt with a black
with the neck. With the black turtleneck, the collar.
The black dickie. That's what I need. I told that I want that for Christmas.
All the times I've seen that movie, this is the first time I was like, what? I was like, he's wearing a fake turtleneck, like just the collar.
The next time we're allowed to have parties and I'm invited to an ugly Christmas sweater, that's what I'm wearing.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting, that dickie, and I'm going as Uncle Eddie. I'm letting you all know right now.
That's great. I was like, wow. And he thinks he looks classy. He thinks he looks classy as hell
Okay.
with his little turtleneck dickie on.
Now, I guess I had always seen them moving the little advent calendar, thought it was a very cool feature. I don't think until this time I ever focused on the dates they were opening. The day Eddie and his family come is December 15th, which means theoretically it was December 12th or 13th when the that 12 days? What are we talking about right now? Are you leaving the day after Christmas? Eddie says something about next month.
He's like, don't you fall in love with that RV, Clark, because we're taking it home with us when we leave next month. And then he does. That's a great spit take. Spit takes are not always good. Oh. That dog spit take was actually pretty good.
And now, do you know where the moose glasses are from and what
Wally
World. Yes. Okay.
Yes. My friend actually has. I'm gonna post a picture. I go to her house to watch Bachelorette. Oh yeah, you might have seen it. She has little Wally World moose glasses. I went over there and she had them and I was like, "Are these from Christmas Vacation?" And she was like, "Yes, you were the only people that gets the reference." I was like, "Who else are you hanging out with?"
Yeah. Ooh. So now we get to the sled scene. And he goes, "Don't try." This is just the best part about watching this movie with my husband. Is Clark goes, "Don't try this at home, kids. I'm a professional." And he goes, my husband just goes, "Professional idiot." I almost peed myself. I was like, Ed coming in with some killer commentary. I mean, when your 13 or 14-year-old has to say to you, "Dad, I don't think this is a good idea." If a 14-year-old is saying something looks too dangerous,
once again,
that's when you pause.
Once again, Rusty having to be the man of the house, having to be the adult. Rusty never gets to be a child. Like, he's got to look after his dad, make sure his dad doesn't kill himself and his family. Yeah. But that scene, when fantastic. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. I remember
beautifully shot.
Oh, he just tears down that hill. And my dad was like, "Well, that doesn't look like the same place that it was when he was up there." I was like, "Dad, he's in the next county at this point." I was like, "That is so
mad at you." He put cooking oil all
and the way he just shoots with like fire coming out of the thing.
I can't even handle it.
Here we go. Ready? He puts his little hood on. Oh God! And then he's getting across the street, like in with the cars. He's got sparks flying.
And he's talking about plates in his head. I'm like, well, at least that answered some questions for me. He's more worried about the part in his hair. I'm like, Eddie, you're answering a lot of questions right now. Thank you, cousin Eddie.
This side, nothing. But this side, if it gets tinted, my hair is just gonna.
Not gonna sit right. What? I love that that's his concern.
Yeah, and I like how Clark is digging him, and Eddie doesn't hear any of Clark's digs at him. Like, he doesn't, they're just right over his head.
You gotta love the happiness and joy of a person like that.
That's that kind of simple-mindedness I sometimes envy.
Okay. So now we get to the pool daydream. Clark, this is your daydream. You can have anybody you want. Why is Eddie there in a white tank top and a leopard print thong? Or bathing suit of any kind? Why would that? If I'm doing a daydream of my ideal pool scenario, let me paint a picture.
None of them are going to be there.
There are no family members, okay?
Nope.
There is a very large book. There is a very tan man with a very nice palm fanning me. And another one walking over with a pina colada at all times. Anytime the pina colada is half full,
I get another one.
Call him Javier. Javier comes with another full pina colada. This is my pool daydream, okay? I don't go adding people that I wouldn't even invite into
Right.
my
That would never be allowed at my pool in the first. Oh no, Eddie would never be allowed at my pool.
Well,
I would have to get it cleaned
he
out.
Can't swim. He can't swim. It's fine.
Oh, good, because I would have to drain it and refill it every time he even touched a toe in the water.
You know Eddie's the type that would go in a pool if he was wearing a Band-Aid.
Oh God.
And if you haven't listened to Sebastian Maniscalco's Aren't You Embarrassed skit, he does a bit about public pools and the Band-Aid situation, and it's hysterical, so you guys should listen to it.
Then he realizes his mistake and he switches Eddie to, again, the girl from the store. Which, again, we're daydreaming. Why are you dreaming about a mall chick when you could have, like, Christy Brinkley or Cindy Crawford? Like, imagine one of them at your pool if you're going to do that.
Yeah, if you're going to go there, go there. I guess he thought maybe since she was a mall girl, she was slightly more attainable. Honey, she was a mall girl, so she could hide her stripper money. That was just paying for health insurance. That girl works a pole somewhere, my friend. And if she isn't, she should be. She could be making good money. Just
better than a perfume counter girl, or what was it, underwear?
Yeah. No, when I was in college, I worked at a restaurant. There was a girl there. She worked 2 nights a week because you just had to be part-time to have health insurance. Like, it was just the company policy. So she worked 2 nights a week, and then she worked the rest of the time at a strip club making real money. She said she brought in like $1,000 or $2,000 a night. Well, I was like, well, if I had your body, yes, this is what I'd be doing too.
Right. Yep.
So
if I didn't have family, man.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening to Horror and Heels. If you're wondering how we're making this podcast, we're doing it through Anchor. You can go to Anchor FM to get started. It's free. They have creation tools that allow you to do it right on your phone or your computer. I edit. I'm actually recording this while I'm in my car waiting to go to my next client. They make life so easy. They even distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple, other sites. It helps you upload if you want to make a Patreon or anything. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I know zero about formatting and doing this and that and the other thing, and Anchor makes it so easy. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. If you want to learn more, go to the Anchor app or anchorfm.com to get started. Thank you and have a great day.
Now, little known fact, I looked it up, just so you all know, that's not how waste treatment in Chicago works. It would have been totally fine for Eddie to be doing what he was doing. So, did you see the meme? There's a meme, guys. We will post it.
I think I know which one you're going to say.
On our Instagram, in which Eddie is emptying the shitter and Pennywise. And we are going to post that because it's hysterical. So we'll do that on our Instagram to prep for this episode. So that all happens. And now we come to what is the climax of the movie. Everybody's at the house. Aunt Bethany and Uncle Lewis. Once again, poor Russ. He now has to be the adult dealing with these crappy presents.
Yep.
There's a cat in a box. There's a Jello mold leaking, and Russ, and he very nicely tries to tell his mother, "Hey, Ma, these are not right. Russ, just go put them in the living room." Like, if the adults in this household would listen to Russ, first time, things would be going a lot smoother.
Right.
Just like Russ, eat with the light. Like, Dad, I don't think we should be doing that. Russ, it's fine. Okay.
Russ is the. That's why this is a horror movie, because as a child you would like to just be a child, but when you're in a house full of inept adults,
We need a Save Russ movement.
yes, I like that better than Save Ferris. Save Russ.
Yeah.
Save Rusty.
Yeah. Cat in a box. Now, here's my question about that. It was indicated that Clark picked them up. How did the cat in the box even get in the car? Because I have to assume, listen, I've seen a cat be in a cat carrier and freak out in a car. You're going to tell me that cat wasn't going apeshit the second it got, well, first of all, put into a box and sealed up. Second of all, in the car, that cat would have gone apeshit.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
I mean, it probably did. It was probably in the trunk.
It probably would have died. How long was this car ride? 4 minutes? Like,
it was cardboard, though. It's not airtight.
Still. So there's that. So they're sitting down to dinner. I gotta say, Ellen makes the table look beautiful.
Yes, she does.
And that turkey did look amazing on the outside. And
oh my
question.
God.
How long did you put it in for?
Right.
Like,
because that level of dryness.
You didn't see when the turkey cooker popper thing popped? In the 80s, we used to have this thing.
I remember those things, yeah.
I don't think people really do that anymore, but...
No, we have Google and Alexa to tell us when to take the turkey out now.
I gotta tell you, it is handy. I did that for the first Thanksgiving I hosted. I went on the night before, like, to my app, mapped out what time I had to start everything, and set a reminder for everything. She told me when to turn the oil on in the fryer. She told me when to turn the oven on for certain entrees, when to start appetizers, when to take things out, when to put things. It was fantastic.
They did not have, Kathleen did not have that, because that shit was dry.
Other thing, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll include Audrey in this. 5 other females, or 4 other females. Ellen, Audrey, Grandma, currently, because Aunt Bethany wasn't there yet.
She's still not there, even when she's there.
Females. And I'm not excusing the men. I'm just saying there were 4 other women that, for all intents and purposes, were probably, once again, this was a 1980s movie, so let's just go with 1980s stereotypes.
Yeah.
That were, for all intents and purposes, probably in or out. Somebody had to have walked in and out of that kitchen at some point that day and been like, is this turkey still cooking? When did this turkey go in?
Yeah, put this in here.
Because I have to tell you, I went to my father's house. He was deep frying the turkey. I didn't see the deep fryer on the back porch, and I didn't see it in the kitchen. So I go, Dad, where are you deep frying? He goes, oh, in the basement. Okay, question asked and answered. If I've been in the house all day with these people, and all of a sudden I see the turkey's going on like 13 hours or something, I'm going to have some questions.
Also, I feel like, how do you get it that golden brown and that burnt? Like I feel like it would have to be charred in order to be that dry.
Now, if somebody's dog...
You and I are right. Like, that was the next thing I was going to say.
You go for it. You go for it.
Damn, no. I was like, oh, and it's just hacking under there. I would have lost, like, Clark is very nice. I would have lost my shit.
First of all, I'm a very dog-friendly person.
Same.
But I do not believe in animals in a kitchen or in a dining room. They do not belong where I am preparing or serving food. More because, gosh forbid, something drops that I am cooking or baking that they should not eat, and they get to it before I get to it.
they can get very sick. It is, for me, first and foremost, for the animal safety. And then secondly, because I'm not cleaning up what happened under that table.
Oh, right.
And the fact that the owners of that dog hear what's happening and neither of them immediately jump up to A, pull the dog away, and B, clean it up. That's when I would have been yeeting people out my front door so quick.
I can't. Yeah, I'd be like, well, you need to get him the hell out of like. If it was a rug, like now we got to throw the rug away.
Oh, it was a rug.
Well then that's getting. You're paying for that because that's absolutely. And he's like, I don't know how. Or well, then you have to like you either pay for it or you have to leave, and then I feel better. Either one of those solutions.
Okay, here's my third question. Why are so many people smoking in this goddamn house? Maybe if you stop letting people smoking in your house.
Maybe that's what dried out the turkey. Because there's no air.
And also, I agreed with Clark. He said, if we let the cat out, then we'll have a cat running around the house.
Yes.
You don't live in a no-door loft. There was certainly an extra bathroom or something that you could have placed this cat in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole lot of people not thinking through problems. Like, okay, she brought a cat. Clearly they had a laundry room. We saw the laundry room. We know they have multiple bathrooms. Put it in a bathroom and say, okay, everyone, the cat is in bathroom B. We're only using bathroom A right now.
Yeah,
don't let the cat out. Now, granted, with this group, I don't see those rules going that well.
At least we could have tried. We could have at least given it a good try.
Given it a good try, yes. And then maybe we don't let people smoke in our homes. If we had locked up the cat, we would not have had a dead cat in a chair that now Uncle Eddie's trying to fumigate.
And buy.
Yeah. And we're not having Uncle Lewis, right?
Yeah, Lewis. Yeah, Lewis.
Yes, Uncle Lewis. Smoking up stogies, first of all. I'm just not a fan of the smell of smoke.
No. And cigars are even worse.
And there were children in this house. We don't smoke around children. Just don't do it. That's my 2020 public service announcement. And if that was controversial for you, that I told you not to smoke around a child, please reevaluate your life. Thank you. So he sets the tree ablaze. First of all, was that tree soaked in the Pennzoil? The door, like, there's no way.
That was, well, you saw the dog. I was like, did the dog drink all the water so it was super dry? Like, because remember the dog was in the water before.
Right, but that was on day 15. We're now on day 24. We haven't put any water back.
It's the Griswold house. Who would have put water back in there?
Rusty. I trust Rusty.
I do, but he's got so many other things going on.
Right. Too many fires to put out. He can't monitor everything.
He can't do everything, you know?
Right.
And he wasn't even there when it happened, so he probably didn't even realize the tree needed water.
True.
It went up so fast. And the flame coming.
Oh my god. It's too much. Then Clark thinks, okay, I'm going to go out and cut down a tree. No. Not the move.
No. Well, he's lost it at this point. He
has lost it. Ellen's still holding on, which makes me believe the drug she has is really good, and maybe she should share some with Clark to mellow him out. Because she has not gone off yet.
Well, she knows he's going to go off enough for both of them. She's like, one of us has to stay sane, or nothing good is going to come from this.
I guess. See, Ed would be my calm person. He'd be like, "Oh, Alicia's gonna start eating people any second. It'll be fine. It'll be. She's got it for both of us."
But this is after he gets.
He is about to go out and cut down the tree. Opens the door. So tree is gone.
Yes.
He opens the door to go get another tree. And that's when Jelly of the Month Dude is there.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up. I looked up a Jam of a Month club. Low end, about $175. High end, like a Harry and David, $350.
A month?
No, for the year.
Oh, for the year. Okay.
For the year. So I read an article of somebody much smarter than me that did the math. If Clark was expecting his bonus to cover the cost of the pool, then we are looking at approximately $11,500 in bonus money. Most people make 1.9% if they get a bonus in their bonus, which means that Clark was making well over $500,000 for him to need that sort, or to obtain
to
that.
Get that kind of bonus.
Yes. Now there have been speculations that he had 90% of it saved up and the bonus was just to cover the last little bit of it, etc.
Yeah.
That it wasn't to cover the entire pool. It's never really confirmed.
Yeah.
But I am going to go ahead and say that it is more towards the $11,000 that they think it is, because if you add 20% to that, it's an additional $2,200, which, yes, I believe is enough to make someone faint.
Faint, yeah.
Yes. Because that was really, I was like, well, how much was your bonus going to be that 20% is fainting you? Because I too thought mentally, oh, he just needs the bonus to cover like the last of the pool payment, not that it was covering the whole pool.
Well, he said it was to put, he had to put money down on it, and he didn't have enough in the bank account to cover it.
To cover the whole pool is what I assumed.
No, what he said was the deposit. He said in order to get it started, I had to put money down to
immediately.
Get it. Yeah, a deposit.
He had to put the whole cost down.
It sounded like he was talking about like the deposit to even just get it started, but I don't know. It did sound like it was like a deposit because he didn't have.
It's true. I should have talked to my uncle. He has a pool. He probably could have answered me how it works. As far as what you put down and what, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I would think for a pool, you have to put everything down, because the second they break ground, like, you're committed to that.
Yeah. Well, I think even just to put in a date, just to like get
that
date.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I have to tell, so we just bought a shed to have it installed. We had to pay the whole cost of the shed up front to have it installed and everything. Like, there was no deposit. I don't think it's like a deposit type. I know he said I had to put a deposit down. I think the deposit is the full amount.
Could be, yeah.
To guarantee workers and stuff. Neither here nor there, but either way, very big bonus that he was expecting, way more than a Jam of the Month club.
Yeah.
And I know his flip out is crazy, but I do agree, if you've done, like he says, I've worked for this company for X amount of years, and every year I've gotten a bonus, you should be letting people know you're not doing that.
Right.
And listen, you can say, listen, guys, we're not financially able to do it. we can't do bonuses so that everyone can keep their job, whatever. But he is right. You do know.
You do need to tell, and you need to tell people because they're counting that as part of their salary or for Christmas gifts. Yeah. Even his wife knew it was a jackass move. His wife was like, ugh.
But we've kind of skipped ahead for a minute there. This is why you don't just bring random outdoor shrubbery into your homestead, people. Yep. You're going to have wild animals. Where do people think wild animals live? They live in our shrubbery. You cut down the shrubbery, it's a chance you're cutting down one of them with it.
Yeah, you got his house in your house.
Also, you are a house of grown-ass people, and this is a tiny squirrel, and they are acting like a rattlesnake got in. I have never seen such. It's a squirrel.
Hey, they don't want rabies. I don't want shots to the belly either. I don't want them. I might. And squirrels can be a little. They'll like roll up on you a little bit. So they are kind of scary.
I understand, but once again, another situation where a little calmness and a little thought probably could have gone a long way.
You know, we've established that's just
that's just not their MO.
Not on the table.
I'm just saying a little forethought instead of simply just reacting. Just take a beat.
I hear you.
Instead of running everywhere, just take a beat. Also, not for nothing, the squirrel was on the back of Clark. So once again, a calm reaction going, Clark, you and I, let's just take a walk outside, open the front door, see if the squirrel follows us. That's what I would have said to Clark in that moment.
Yes. Because you can't tell Clark there's a squirrel on it, or...
Right. So let's just try walking outside first. You and me. Father, son. Let's take a little walk outside.
Oh, because you're rusty at this point. I forgot.
No. It's his
his dad. Yes.
Dad,
okay.
Squirrel. So you say to your son, listen, you and I, we're just going to take a walk, see if the squirrel follows us.
Yes.
You walk Clark outside. You beat the squirrel off. You close the door behind you. Beat the squirrel off. The squirrel's going to go running. Yeah. You run back inside. Once again, none of these people think anything through.
Ever.
I'm not saying I want to tango with a squirrel. I know they can get... Also, maybe I have a very different opinion of them. I have a beautiful friend who rescues and rehabilitates injured squirrels so that they can go back out into the wild. She just bottle fed and nurtured 2 tiny baby squirrels, and now soon they will be able to be released back into the wild. And such a beautiful thing she does, and heart of gold, because I don't know that I could bottle feed something and then give it back up. I don't know that I have the strength. People who do have the strength to foster and help, you guys are truly beautiful souls. So I'm probably looking at the squirrel a lot cozier than other people who have tussled with the squirrel. But once again, just a little calmness could have helped. And also, if only Cousin Eddie had been there, honestly.
Oh, right. Oh, but he's cutting down on squirrels.
But also, nobody noticed Cousin Eddie's gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did. He said, "Where is he?" And then that was kind of that. And she was like, "Oh, he's."
To them, Shooter was full again.
Who knows? Like, and in their minds, that's the only situation Eddie would have helped in. And then since he's not here, and you don't even know that that's correct because he's obviously not eating squirrels now because of the cholesterol. So.
But I have to believe that he'd still know what to do.
Yeah, he'd still know how to catch it.
I don't think that's the kind of knowledge that leaves you. It's like riding a bike. You just...
I don't know. It may have seeped out of the plastic.
So he goes out. So now the neighbor, Margot, is like, Todd, because once again, Clark cuts down the tree. He ruins their house.
Oh, they have that cute margarita set. I want that picture with the little margarita glasses.
The things you have focused on.
they keep putting them in? Like, that's their fault at this point. Like, you should either move or...
In Illinois, you need windows.
Then you need to move or get bulletproof glass or something that's going to be sturdy. But I would stop trying at that point. I'd be like, yeah, well, we would just be in the middle of the house, not near any windows or doors.
And once again, Todd is not willing to do anything.
Nope, he's fine.
Oh, yes. So we just looked it up. Apparently, the cost to replace windows would have been about $1,000. The total windows broken in the Griswold house was 10.
Oh, God.
And Margot and Todd's house had their windows broken twice, and it looked about 2 windows each time when they were broken, so that would be about $4,000 to their home. So all in all, Clark Griswold has destroyed $14,000 worth of windows. Okay? Could you imagine if somebody... We're not even talking about poor Margot's carpet.
Oh, no.
We're not talking about the stains.
Stereo?
We're not talking about her stereo. Just, this poor woman is out $4,000 in windows, people.
Alone. That's what I'm saying. I would have put the house up for sale. I'd have been like, you know what? We're good. We're good. That house also was in Lethal Weapon. That was Danny Glover's house in Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, once again, Todd wants to do nothing. And
he's good at it.
He's good at it. And she goes over, and they're trying to get rid of the squirrel. The dog is chasing said squirrel, and both of them end up on poor Margot. And Clark, once again...
Oh, my God.
The door on this woman doesn't offer any assistance.
No.
Are you out of your kind? I would have had the cops.
Right? Like he just let I was like, wow, that's kind of messed up. Like, you just let this rabbit squirrel and your dog attack this woman and then just shut the door. He's such an asshole.
Listen, I understand you can't control what happens to somebody on your property. He didn't know she was walking up to his front door. However, once you see that happen, you have a responsibility to assist this person.
Right.
But Margot, like the G she is, brushes this off and goes beats the shit out of Todd, which honestly, she's not wrong for doing.
No.
Todd deserved that because Todd should have been the one
to go over there.
Or they both should have gone.
And once again, this shows that Clark doesn't actually have that good of a heart. Because anyone with that kind of a heart would have helped someone in that situation.
Yes.
So
you're right.
He's very much a selfish asshole. If it doesn't serve him, he's not about it.
You are right. I'm seeing it your way now. So now I love that the dad comes in and tries to talk his son down off the ledge and is like, this isn't you. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And we finally get back to some family normalcy. We're reading The Night Before Christmas, which we read in my house on Christmas Eve. I like it. Oh, and so my husband a few weeks ago sends me this picture, and in Iceland on Christmas Eve, they all exchange books as family gifts and sit around and read their books and eat chocolate for the rest of the night. And I just want everybody to know that my household has now gone Icelandic. It's our new Christmas Eve tradition. Do not bother us. Don't bother us. No, we do. We get my son books for Christmas, and then I do read them, one or two of them, always the night before Christmas, and then usually another one on Christmas Eve. And then he goes to bed, and then, as all good parents across the land do, you stay up, you get drunk, you wrap the gifts, and you shove them under the tree. I'm hiding gifts, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, shit, where did I hide that? That's where I'm at.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, God bless all the parents out there doing the good jobs this year. So I love the boss's wife. He was a big, beastly giant of a man with a blue velour. Her husband has been kidnapped. She can't handle it. But also, they found the house real quick.
Oh, so fast.
So fast. So now...
And then why are they busting into Margot and Todd's house?
Yeah, no one knows.
I'm like, what? Why do they need to be in their house? They know what house it is, apparently. But okay.
So, we're going to get to that. So, Clark very lovingly... Well, not lovingly, but he says, listen, I will take this on for everybody that you rear-ended this Christmas. Like, you press charges against me. Yeah. My cousin was just trying to help, like... And I love Ellen. Well, I'm sorry, this is our family's first kidnapping.
This is our first kidnapping.
And I gotta say, I looked at Cousin Eddie, not entirely sure it was, just gonna say that. And also, this is a plot hole. But how did Cousin Eddie find out where the boss
where he lived? It's not like now where you could Google somebody or find somebody real quick.
I know that Clark says the street name, so I'm guessing these people the only thing I can figure out is that Clark said the street name. Back then, he would have had to have had a map at least to get to Clark's house in the RV. Mm-hmm. So he could have had a map to get to that house because it would have all been the same map for the same area.
Yeah.
Theoretically. And then you have to then also assume that Mr. Smiley has his name on his mailbox for him to be able to narrow down the house. That's really the only way that makes sense. And you also have to believe that Eddie's smart enough to look at the names on the mailboxes, which is where the whole theory really goes down.
Yeah, that's stretching it. But so I could see maybe. What?
Once again, movie magic. Eddie comes in his blue velour suit. Eddie's wardrobe in this is just a dream, everyone. Gives me so many feelings. Then no way in hell. First of all, would a SWAT team be called in on this at first? Listen, yeah. I have watched enough cop dramas to know that even if your target is in there with the kidnapper, your number one goal is to de-escalate. You de-escalate. You're not just going, bring it down. They are amping up.
They're like, oh, we got this.
Like, you want to go from the 10 that's in the house, the kidnap situation, the hostage situation, down to a 1 or 2 so you can start negotiations. These people have decided to forego all negotiations. Not even find out if they have the right home.
Nope. We're just going to crash. And then we're going to go and bust in next door just in case.
Now, I got to tell you, the lawsuit you would have against the police department.
Oh, my God.
Because, first of all, you as the homeowner did not do the kidnapping. Second of all, now you have a victim who's saying, I'm not pressing any charges. Like, so they did no due diligence. Just knock on the door. Say, hey, is Mr. Smiley here? Mr. Smiley would have been like, yeah, and I'm not pressing charges. They were 100% right. They just brought me over here to have a chat. Have a nice day, officers.
Yeah, and then everything would have been fine.
Stayed for 20 more minutes. Made sure Mr. Smiley left the house. They would have done some due diligence. All police officers, their goal is to de-escalate a situation. Like, I know there are some that go rogue, but not 14 SWAT people going rogue.
Yeah, no, not like that.
You're not going rogue like that. You might have 1 or 2 wild eggs in the bunch. Not 14.
Yeah. They were. What a precinct. That precinct is not going to last very long. They're going to lose their...
Do that. And then Clark faints.
Even the wife, once she finds out why her husband was kidnapped, is immediately on the kidnapper's side.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh, what of all the underhanded, lousy, no good ways to save a buck. You know what I mean? Like, she's there in her fur.
I like that, though. Like, I like that they make these characters redeemable. Like, even though the boss was a bad guy, quote unquote, he was like, you're right, that was messed up. And then even the wife was like, oh, yeah,
no, you
don't
deserve
deserve to get kidnapped.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, officers, we're not pressing charges. At first, she was like, are you sure? Oh, and then Aunt Bethany, once again, singing Home of the Brave.
Betty Boop, by the way.
Yes.
One of her last movies.
Yep. No, it's not one of it. It's her last.
Well, I read another one that said Roger Rabbit was her last. So I don't know with filming how that worked, like which one she filmed last. But I don't know. The other one could have been wrong. But yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They might have been filmed around the same time and one just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But yeah. And what a good actress. Because you can't actually be like that and act that way. So her acting was pretty on point.
We all do Aunt Bethany. Grace, she died 50 years. They want you to do the blessing. We do that
Blessing.
A blessing. Now are Aunt Bethany and Aunt Louis brother and sister? Uncle Louis brother and sister? I couldn't figure it out.
I assumed husband and wife.
A husband and wife? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. So overall thoughts.
I mean, it's a classic.
I love it.
Always enjoyable.
Always.
It was written by John Hughes, so
right.
You can't go wrong there.
The neighbors are certainly in their own horror movie, so
definitely.
they were moments away from death several times.
Man, if that icicle, if they had been standing there.
I was thinking, if they had been in the house when that happened, that could have had weight. Because we see that in Black Christmas.
Yeah, right. So they pretty much.
I mean, because that had to be a very sharp icicle to destroy a window and a speaker.
Right.
So had you been in that trajectory, you would have been
impaled,
at least maimed in some way.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't impale in the right area and you were okay, you still.
And what a mystery for them that the stereo is destroyed and the carpet's wet. They're like,
I gotta say, they figure out the mystery pretty quickly. They're like,
oh, I mean, they know that it's the Griswolds, but I don't know if they know what exactly happened, but they're like, this is some strange shit. It's definitely the neighbors.
Right.
I don't know if they know exactly what happened, but they're like.
But I think if you look out your window and you see the way his grate is, you're gonna figure it out. Yeah. But I love too that it's no longer damaged in any other scene.
The stereo?
No.
Oh, their thing. Yeah, and he never repairs it or anything.
No.
Oh, he's such a bummer.
You know what? Once again, Rusty went out.
I was just gonna say Rusty went out there and fixed it. I'm sure.
Rusty handled that. That's what I believe Rusty was doing. And I do love when his dad is like, "Oh, let's check the lights," and Rusty's like, "Oh, look what time it is. Gotta get to bed. Still have so much to do. Feed the pigs. Got some bills to pay. My homework. Do a load of law."
That's hilarious. I read that's
I'm like, Rusty is definitely at a minimum doing the load of laundry.
Oh yeah, definitely. But that wrist thing, that was a Chevy Chase gag that he was known for.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. And Rusty and Audrey are now playing boyfriend and girlfriend in The Connors, which is weird. So I kind of want to see an episode just because I want to see them playing boyfriend and girlfriend after this long.
Wait.
Rusty's on.
Right, that I know.
Yeah.
Juliet
Lewis
is on The Connors?
Apparently. I just read that.
Oh, so he is not dating one of the Connors.
I guess not. I don't know. I don't watch the show.
Okay, because that's not.
Because he dated Becky in the.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not Becky. Okay,
no.
And it's not the sister.
No, yeah, probably not. But he was one of the characters. He's probably like family to them now at this point. So.
Yes, no, him and Becky have a kid together. In
the show. So then that's why he would still be in the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But
the two of them getting back. I've seen 3 episodes of The Conners. Every episode I see, I only watch the ones where Johnny Galecki comes on because I'll watch anything with him. And it's always toying with him and her getting back together. I haven't watched it this season.
that's fun. It's creepy though. Like it would be creepy to see them as Audrey and Rusty in Christmas Vacation, and then watching them as boyfriend girlfriend.
Well, also they say that in the other ones, it's intuned that Rusty is the older child in the original Vacation, and now it seems like Audrey is. And I'm like, well, that's weird.
They don't give any shits about the continuity of these children in these movies at all.
Rusty's aging as the minutes go.
And they're never played by the same kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rusty and Audrey are always different. And then that's why it's funny in Vegas Vacation.
I haven't watched any of the other ones more than once, only Christmas Vacation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
like Anthony Michael Hall is Rusty in one of them. Another girl. Huh?
No, that just can't. No, I can't believe any of that. I'm IMDb'ing that right
yes.
now. That can't be true.
Yes. And then
allow it.
And then in Vegas Vacation, the joke is Clark comes home and he looks at Rusty and Audrey and he's like, I hardly even recognize you two. And then he like looks at them really close and it's like, yeah, you don't recognize them because they're never the same actors.
Oh. Oh, it was the original Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation. That's why I just hit Vacation. I looked it up wrong.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Randy Quaid is always Cousin Eddie.
Yes, yeah. All the adults are pretty much the same.
Oh, you're right. Audrey in this one is Dana. You're right.
Yep.
God, that's the weirdest thing ever. Why did they do that? You're right. It's Anthony Michael Hall. Oh my God.
Every movie.
He's gotten really good looking as an adult.
Oh,
about that
yeah.
for a minute.
He got better looking as he got older, for sure.
Well, and it's funny because certain people play roles again, like Brian Doyle.
Yeah, he was like he was somebody on their way to Wally World.
And then he's Frank Shirley.
Yeah.
In National, yeah.
Mr.
You
Shirley.
forget how much that guy's in until you look, and he's like in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got that voice. He's got a recognizable voice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You would recognize his voice before
every time he's in a movie, I'm like, I know that voice. And then
he was in an episode of Two Broke Girls, and he makes me laugh every time.
He was in 17 again with my boo, Zac Efron.
Your boo.
That's my boo.
So, yeah, very funny.
Yes, so it's definitely a holiday classic.
I love it. It's one of my family's favorites.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my uncle today, and he was like, well, don't you have to, like, get ready for the podcast? I don't know what he thinks podcasting is. Very interesting. I'm like, well, we're doing Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation. He's like, oh, you know that movie backwards and forwards. I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
What's your favorite scene of the movie, if you have to pick one?
Honestly, I know it's a comedy, but I always love, like, touching moments. And Christmas movies are really the only ones where it gets me. So either Audrey defending her dad during the light scene, because that's just like...
It's cute.
Yeah. Or when he is talking to Ruby Sue.
Yeah.
And what I love about that movie, too, is he's like, you shouldn't say that. And it's the word shit he means.
Yeah, and she's like, sorry, rocks.
Yeah. And I'm just like, no, bricks wasn't the word they were on. No problem, Ruby Sue.
Sorry, shit and rocks.
That's great. Like, so I love that they can do, like, a heartfelt moment and still have comedy in it. I just think that's so great. And just the love that Ellen has for pretty much everybody. Like, she's so kind about her cousin.
Yeah.
Like,
she never goes off on her. It's like she's one of the kindest movie wives, because a lot of wives in these kind of movies are super annoying also.
Yeah.
And very like naggy and meh, meh, meh.
Yeah, I am.
You never are annoyed with Ellen. Like she's cool as shit every movie. She's like, whatever, she knows who she married.
Listen, Audrey, I'm sleeping with your father. We're all making sacrifices. Yeah, you have a cigarette too. Let's move on.
Right. Like she knows who she married, and so she doesn't, because a lot of these wives, even in TV shows, they act like they don't know who they're married to.
Oh.
Or they get so annoyed, and you're like Everybody Loves Raymond to me was like the word, like his wife hated him, and I'm like, why did you marry him? She never thought he was funny. She never was like, she was so impatient with him. I was like, I can't with that. That is awful.
Yeah.
You know who you married. So I like that Ellen gets annoyed with Clark on levels that you would expect, but she's never like hateful towards him, or she's always got his back. So yeah, she's one of the best movie wives written.
What are you guys going to be doing for Christmas?
We are going, I mean, we do our family thing. Just my brothers will probably come, we'll be at my parents' house and open presents Christmas morning, and then hang out, maybe find something to stream, because sometimes we used to go to the movies. We hadn't done it in a while. But this year I think like Wonder Woman is coming out or something, so we'll stream a movie, play with our toys, our new toys, and all that stuff.
I know what I'm getting for Christmas. I'm getting a cricket.
Oh, nice! My friend got a cricket for Christmas.
So, well, Ed wanted to get it for me last year, but they're very expensive, and I was like, no, we just bought a house, like we're not spending this much on Christmas gifts this year.
Yeah.
Then the pandemic hit, and I was like, I bet you really wish you had that cricket right about now. And I was like, shut up.
You're like,
and you're right. You are 100% right. So I said to him, I go, you can get me the cricket if it's my birthday and Christmas gift combined. And so he was like, well, what do you think you want to make? I'm like, well, I've seen, because like different ones do. So we had a huge conversation about it. So I do know what I'm getting because I'm a ridiculous person. You know what, too, though? When you hit like 39, 40, it's like the person you love just wants to buy you something. Like we were doing Ed's office, and I was like, oh, do you use these headphones? He's like, no, I have the other headphones, but I really do need new ones. I'm like, hello, I'm looking for ideas for Christmas. Like, send me the headphones you want. Like, that's what we'll get for Christmas. And he was like, okay. Like, when you get old, like, and I don't feel like that takes away from the magic of Christmas morning. I will still be thrilled to open our little baker. Like, you know, like, not at all.
Yeah.
So, especially now that I'm a mom, like, for me, the joy is just going to be seeing TJ go nuts and probably once again enjoy the boxes more than the gifts.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened last year. So
that's the kid thing.
And do you have a special meal that you like?
No. So Christmas Eve, my mom makes tortilla soup. We eat that Christmas Eve. It's delicious. And then Christmas morning, we'll probably have ribs.
Okay.
We just pick at it all day. Like my mom just puts it out, and then we can make plates all day. So we don't have like a sit down special.
Oh, okay.
No, we just.
Jen, as always, thanks for a fabulous 2020 of recording. It was very exciting to start this journey with you.
Yes, it's been pretty awesome.
It has been. I feel very blessed. We've had some really excellent guests and co-podcast hosts on so far, so I'm excited to see what 2021 brings. Jason Mantzoukas, it better bring you.
2021, Jason, we're getting you on here.
Okay?
It's happening.
I'm telling you, you don't come on soon, I am going to start harassing poor
We
Mr.
will Randy Quaid you. We will just drive.
We will Randy Quaid you, exactly. Jason Mantzoukas.
But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I can't believe what we've already covered. It's like, wow, I can't wait to see what we get to next year.
By the way, this year, Christmas Day, depending on how my dad feels, we might be with just him, my mom, and my little brother. And then I'll kind of follow his lead on what he wants. But I said to Ed, if we're not going anywhere
And I'm literally only having to prepare enough food for you and I, budget-wise, then I'm putting that towards some filet mignons. And I'll go to my butcher and I'll make filet mignons and probably potatoes au gratin.
That sounds good. Yeah, we used to do we usually do a Christmas Eve thing because I have a lot of friends from out of town.
Okay.
My dad invites people, and we would get a hotel room and have people come. And we do soup
nice.
and we play games, so it's friends and family coming. It's different people every year. Some people come every year. Some new people. It's a lot of fun. That's what we usually do. So yeah, but we can't do that this year.
Right.
So
that's the thing. It's like, and everybody, no matter what you did this holiday, I hope that you were safe and happy. And we will not be putting out a New Year's Day episode. We decided to take these next 2 weeks off and just relax. So everyone, for New Year's Eve, please, number one, be safe. You know what that means. I don't need to spell it out. And if I do need to spell it out, then we got problems. Be happy, be healthy, and take the time to tell the people that mean something to you that they mean something to you. And that is the reason for this season. Christmas Vacation did amazing. $11 million budget, 71 something in the box office. So that made quite a profit in 1980s money for the studio. So,
Chris Columbus was supposed to direct that. And he couldn't work with Chevy Chase. He met with him and he was like, nope, I can't do it. And so they sent him Home Alone. And so he did Home Alone.
I have heard of so many people having said they cannot work with the Chase.
Yeah.
It was apparently a big problem on Community.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of the reasons why
Glover left.
Donald Glover left.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
All that jazz. We will see you in 2021.
May old acquaintance be forgot.
That's how you want to end?
Wow, the water's hitting me, guys. I don't know what happened there. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
All the things.
All the things. Bye.
Later.